Chang has just moved to Thailand to earn money away from home. And through the hospitality of his cousins, he secures a job at an ice factory. While away from home, he's taken a vow to his mother to not get into any more fights. Well, that's gonna be a problem because it turns out the big boss of the ice factory is actually a heroin dealer, and he's going to kill anybody who stands in his way, and that includes Chang's loved ones. Now, with his oath broken, nothing is going to stand in his way of seeking justice. Not seduction and bribery, not dozens of henchmen, and no, not even attack dogs. Bruce Lee was born in San Francisco and raised in Hong Kong, and his father wanted him to be a child actor. These were not martial arts movies, and he did not become a big star at this time. So as fate would have it, Bruce Lee started fighting. He trained under Ip Man. He learned Tai Chi, boxing, and most importantly, he got into street fighting. Real, gritty, off-the-radar neighborhood fights. Nighttime fights on rooftops and the like. He got a real taste and talent for authentic violence. He moved to Seattle hoping to have a career in acting, but to make ends meet, he started teaching martial arts. And he ended up playing Kato in The Green Hornet. This wasn't a happy experience for him. He was supposed to be the star of his own show, and they tried to tone down on his martial arts. They wanted him to try to fight more American, simple punches, stuff like that. He was unable to get hardly any other acting gigs. The industry wasn't looking for Chinese actors, and he was struggling to make ends meet. When he returned home to Hong Kong, he found out that he was a bit of a celebrity. He was a major character in an American TV show. He was an inspiration. They wanted him to sign up for movies under Golden Harvest, and The Big Boss was the first major job that he got from them. Finally, after over 20 film projects, he was going to be a star. Now, it seems pretty clear why Bruce Lee was going to blow up like this. The guy has charisma, he has charm, and he's super talented. If he was just a martial artist, he wouldn't be nearly as comfortable in front of the lights and the camera, but he spent his whole life building up for this. But what makes Bruce Lee really stand out above the rest isn't just his movie star attitude, it's his fighting talent. When it comes to stunt work, Bruce Lee was infuriating to work with. He was less skilled than your average stuntsman because he hadn't learned all of that choreography and the stances and all the things that everyone else specializes in. He knew a little bit of everything, and he didn't want these fights to be these scripted dances that take up minutes at a time. He wanted to end fights in a matter of seconds. He wanted the action to reflect real street fighting. He was stubborn, but maybe with all this rage and after being sold short all this time, he was willing to stand up for what he wanted. He channeled what he was feeling, along with his character. He demanded the spotlight. He was a star, and from this point on, this was the Bruce Lee that the world saw. So obviously, this movie has historical significance, but even though it's Bruce Lee's international rise to fame, that doesn't necessarily mean The Big Boss is a worthwhile watch. That's the thing, this isn't the best martial arts movie ever made, but it is pretty good. If you're even remotely interested in Bruce Lee's filmography, I don't think you should skip this one. Actually, it's an excellent starting location because it's the start of it all, while also being a halfway decent movie. The thing is, The Big Boss is a bit slow, which wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't also a bit repetitive. The characters are all likable, the plot is interesting enough to hold your attention, but there's moments where the movie just kinda grinds to a halt. And we get some character drama that has kinda already happened. The main conflict is between the workers of the ice factory and the upper management, regarding the sudden disappearance of some of the staff. When the workers go on strike and Bruce Lee starts to fight back, he feels betrayed, and the boss is trying to sweep everything under the rug. And there's this back and forth throughout the entire second act that really slows down the pace. And I think just about everything regarding the brothel and the insider knowledge, and honestly, it all could have been cut, or heavily stripped down. But when this movie starts swinging punches, it's solid. And Bruce Lee isn't trying to knock out his attackers. No, people are dying. There's plenty of edged weapons, and jumping, and kicking, and slashing, and it gets a bit bloody. The contact sound effects are all really satisfying. And it's a lot of fun. And almost all the action is pretty good. There's plenty of fight scenes sprinkled throughout the whole thing to keep your interest going. Even though it takes Bruce Lee a while to finally join the fight, the whole first act has a bit of graphic violence just focused on the bad guys and their victims. And when Bruce Lee does start fighting, well, there you go. So the action's great, the story is serviceable, the drama is okay, but the characters are likable and Bruce Lee's performance is really enjoyable. Whether he's being peaceful or violent, he always steals the show. As an introduction to Bruce Lee, the martial arts legend, this is a decent beginning to a tragically short career.